Hello, it's July 16th, 2025. Um, this is a video I wasn't expecting to do, but I said at the beginning of this that I don't really know how these are all gonna look. Um, I'm gonna always speak from my heart, and other than video number 8, um, I watched the tail end of it just so I could get um, a little more clarity of what I wanted to touch on. But my aunt Phyllis had um, she'd reached out and she said, she'd apologized for not doing more, not being there more. And honestly, there was nothing more she could have done. Um, but it had got me thinking, and that's the reason for this video, because I was gonna pick up where I'd left off. And so I had a friend who was a believer Christian. Our last conversation was um, him. He requested prayer for his family. There was a lot of stuff going on, and you know, we weren't we weren't besties or anything like that, but we were friends, and the last conversation we had though was you know, pray for his family, and he was so certain, he wasn't gonna let go, and through everything that was going on, and he ultimately succumbed to um, his demons, and up until just recently, um, last couple months, it's been a story that's been really hard for me to process because I just couldn't understand, like, how did that happen? And through my aunt Phyllis, through the messages, um, I was reminded of Robin Williams, who took his life in 2014, and um, I will I will oftentimes um, look at different celebrities or whatever and think, oh, I bet if we were to meet in real life, um, we'd probably get along. Different characteristics. And though I'm not a stand-up comedian, nor will I ever be, I just think that he and I would have had we would have had a good time. Maybe bounce off each other. I like being goofy. Anyone who knows me knows how silly I can be. It's I have an easier time being silly than I do have. All these have gotten a little easier, but um, I just I just felt really bad for him. I thought, how sad and to be in that kind of mind state. But oftentimes, I think every time, people say, I didn't see the signs. I didn't, um, I wish I could have done more. And this video is also for you because sometimes there is nothing else you can do. Um, I had family. I, I had people at work. Um, I had friends that would just send me messages, um, pictures, like quotes, uplifting stuff. I had one friend. She sent me. She just felt pressed to send me this message, and I screenshot it. And I think I alluded in another video that I wanna group all those together, but I'm not really certain how I want to do it yet. And just as a tribute to all those people that reached out in one way or another. Some are stuff that conversation I'm just not going to simply share. And uh, but there's so many in my life, people that I didn't even expect reaching out, um, and all those people help in one aspect or another. But um, sometimes there's simply nothing else you can do. It's the individual that has to get through it, and I know that that's not always easy to or something you want to even accept, but um, and I'm gonna get into it in some of these other videos coming up because um, I'm not at the darkest moment yet, but um, I will say that, even though I was in therapy, I knew enough, and I told my aunt, I knew enough to know there was stuff not to talk about. Even though I was battling it, I knew enough not to talk about it. So when my therapist actually found out, she's like, "Wait, are you are you okay?" I said, "Yeah, I'm good now. I'm getting better." But my fear was that I was going to be put in a padded room, and there's so many there's so many stigmas. There's so many people are made to feel like they're less than, or and not even necessarily. They're scared to say something. And mine was my my whole thing was I was not about to be medicated and thrown in a padded room. Uh, That might not have even happened, but it might have actually been an easier road to travel had I said something. But it was the fear of the unknown, and I would rather fight it on my own and fight it the way I was than uh than to tell my therapist that these are thought like this is where I'm actually at in my brain. This is what I'm concocting. This is, this is my plan. Yeah, I haven't got, like I said, I haven't got to this that far yet. Uh, there was a plan, and uh, I was just talking to my mail lady. She was another one. She was big help. Um, she was a help in a way she didn't even realize she was a help. Just being kind. Sometimes just being kind is all it really is needed. And and I'll get into the other stuff as the next couple of videos go because uh, it's been a little over a year ago that the darkest hour hit, and right around the June mark, and I don't know exactly. Uh, I had to go back to my journal and look at that, but uh that is not an invitation to go and open my journal. If you're in my family, please don't. Just don't. Do yourself a favor. Don't open it. Throw that away. Um, uh, but there was nothing else. People did so much, and uh, I know people. They'll say, I thought with my friend, you know, how did I now see the difference is I wasn't that close to him. We were friends. I was, we talked, but it never felt like I never blamed myself. Like I wouldn't have noticed the signs. Why would I have? Wasn't that close to him, but it was still sad nonetheless. And and I understand that now, unfortunately. But if you're watching this and and I'm connecting to you, maybe fortunate that I don't know. I'm not better than anyone else. I'm not better off because I got through it and someone else is less than because I'm telling you, I was pretty close. Um, I just had to finalize some few things, and that's I've just recently gotten to where I can talk about this, and I knew that I was gonna have to talk about it in these videos, and um, and those videos it's coming, um, but sometimes there's nothing else you can do. There's just nothing else, and it's the person's brain that is telling them that this is the best way, and I can show you my Bible app. I'm like 1,281 days in a row that I've. at the very minimum, have opened it and was reading the scripture of the day. Um, and and then right after the year mark of my dad passing, there's another part of the U Version Bible Lab. So I'm 281 days, 200 something days in a row, um, which is irrelevant for. Well, no, it's not. No, yeah, it is. It's irrelevant for this, but the the at least opening is very relevant because I was grasping for a rope and not and that uh yeah, I'm not gonna go there. That was not my my plan. Um, but I was grabbing for anything, and but I was holding on to my faith, and I was really forced to lean in, and I've uttered this so many times, and I'm gonna keep on uttering because it's simply the truth. It's by God's grace that I'm here, and uh, it is why I have no problem falling to my knees at church and praying. It has everything to do like that is I'm gonna worship until my last breath. Um, I know it was by God's grace that well, that I'm doing these videos, and if I can help one person, if I can help someone that has lost someone, uh, and they're wondering if they could have done it, you couldn't do anymore. If you did anything, you did something, and sometimes there's just not anything else you can do. And it's the individual that has got to get through it. And if they can't, I'm not saying they're less than. I'm saying that it is possible that their battle was so strong in here they just couldn't take it anymore, and and their brain convinced them. And um, I am I know what Scripture says. I know, but I know that we serve a loving God, and um, I would like to believe that um, yeah, I'm not going to use myself for this. I am under the belief that God knows your heart, and there's some people that are doing everything they can just to make it. And like my friend, um, I I think we're going to see him in heaven. It's just what I think. Um, he loved his family, and he was praying for him. And I think his battle was so strong that we couldn't even fathom it, nor would we even want to fathom it. Um, it's not a fun place to be at all. So to my aunt, to any of my family that's seeing this, I appreciate all the feedback I've been given, um, and I'm really surprised so many people have been watching these. Uh, I'm not even sure how some people have found these, but hey, if it helps, it's worth it. But yeah, so stuff that you're gonna hear, um, uh, don't beat yourself up. I appreciate everyone who was helping me. I appreciate all the kind words, all the kind messages. You did something. It's so many people that I would never even expected, yeah, even strangers. I've alluded to that. Um, the days following my dad's passing, just a stranger came over. Said, can I give you a hug? And just there was I experienced so much kindness in those, those following days, the following months, and I had a guy at work who just he's become a friend of mine. And he's like, Keith, yeah, I'm jumping ahead, but he prayed for me, and I'm getting into the following what I was originally going to talk about, but I don't want to do that in this video. Um, I'm just anyone watching, um, please do not beat yourself up. a lot of you did so much that you will not even understand, or I could even articulate. But please do not beat yourself up for what you're about to hear in the next videos, um, because I did feel the love, and I did feel the genuine concern, even though majority had no idea. Um, I think there's one person, only because she kept sending me songs and stuff, but she deals with this slicker line of work, and I think I've just recently come to this realization that I think this particular friend, she's known me for a long time. I mean, she's known me since I was a kid. Um, I think she knew without saying anything, but she knew she knows music is a big part of my life, and she continued sending me songs after songs, and I think she knew. I think she's the only one that knew without saying anything. So, um, if you're watching these and you see the other videos, please do not beat yourself up. All right. Until next time, I'm just going around in a circle now. All right. Have a good one.